Welcome to the Witchy Work Wishes podcast, a place to find your weekly inspiration for bringing your personal witchcraft practice into your business, work, and office. Welcome to Witchy Work Wishes. I am your host, Charlene, and today you're joining me for episode number 34, which is all about essential oils, specifically this time for the summer. And I'm very excited to have Cathi back as my guest. But first, I always like to start with 3 things I did over the weekend to help with my witchcraft practice. This past weekend was all about the animals. I have been a foster mom for both wildlife and domestic animals for a very, very long time. Well, over 30 years. And even before that, was trying to save them on my own as a child. So this past weekend was a big event for my local humane society, which I am both on the board of directors with and a kitten foster mom for. So we hosted our huge annual fundraiser, which luckily brought in well over $100,000. And it was so nice talking with the community and seeing the many smiles and hearing all of the amazing stories about their own personal adoptions with the shelter. Connecting with people and the energy of saving, animals did my heart good. So on Sunday, I slowed it down and regrouped for the work week ahead. And since I was not able to do any workings on Saturday with our beautiful strawberry full moon, I did spend some time on Sunday with it. Now, this full moon in Sagittarius was all about the positivity in our lives and about seeking knowledge and feeling hope for the future. Since the element for this full moon was fire, and I just love everything about that element, I took full advantage of morning candles, afternoon incense, and an early evening fire outside to watch the full moon rise. I did a tarot card pull from my Crow Tarot deck, this time asking a sequence of 3 questions I found from an article by Feral Wood Farm. The 3 questions were: what is blocking my hope for the future? How can I focus on staying positive? And how can I continue to serve my best self? So I really liked these questions and felt like it was a perfect time to ask them. There's been so much good in my life and positive feelings, peace, and just like a calming sense of being content. So getting direction on moving forward, hopefully with all of that, seemed like the right thing to do. So the first question, what is blocking my hope for the future? I pulled the 8 of Cups. And for this one, it says, the crow stands on the riverbank, her back to the gold cups that symbolize material and wealth possessions. She is ready to fly off and leave it all behind. The moon represents her shadow self and her true nature, one she tries to suppress but cannot deny. The 8 of Cups asks that you look inward and discover what it is that you really want from your life and what is important to you. This card suggests that although it will take considerable strength to let go and walk away, it may be necessary to achieve true happiness. Second one, how can I focus on staying positive? I pulled the 8 of Wands. And this one says, the crow flies swiftly through the air on currents of energy brought by the 8 wands. This card brings with it a vitality of spirit. Do not hesitate. Now is the time to act. The power of this card is vibrant and expansive. A narrow focus will not serve you at this time. You need to be able to see the big picture. Because the energy is moving quickly, the message of the 8 of Wands is that it is essential to ensure that every task is complete before moving on to the next item on your to-do list. And then the last question, how can I continue to serve my best self? I pulled the 2 of Wands. And this card says, the crows holding the 2 wands do so with patience and balance. It takes skills and strength to maintain the world, and when the wands come together, they create a spark that sets an idea in motion, one that has the power to create a path to success. These birds bring opportunities for travel, as well as the need to make life-changing decisions. Each journey offers the possibility of a new experience. The 2 of Wands urges you to get out of your comfort zone because destiny is waiting. So the card pull was impactful, and it gave me much to think about while sitting by the fire pit. I watched the flames dance and stretch as high as they could and let my mind drift off to marinate in the messages. It was nice giving myself that, extra time and personal space, and I was appreciative of the time outside and grounding myself with all of it. As summer is approaching, my backyard is getting more and more ready for me to be out with it. I am not good with the summer heat though. So really, I could just skip summer altogether. But the heat really makes me so very thankful for the cold. Now, if you are like me and struggle with the hot summer months, this episode is perfect for you. I will go grab my guest Cathi so we can jump right into some amazing essential oils that will help us battle the heat, the bugs, and the sun. Okay, I am back, and I am so excited to have Cathi with me as a guest today. She was, believe it or not, it was back in November. She was with us talking about her business, SYV Oils. And welcome back, Cathi.
Thank you.
Yay!
I'm so happy to be back.
So can you believe it was November?
Yeah, I can't even remember what we were talking about.
I thought about pulling those notes up, but I know we've got a whole list of things to talk about today, specifically thinking about summer and all the amazing things that goes with summer that you can possibly help us cool down with. Remind us a little bit about what you do.
I live in Solvang, California. It's a little tourist town, and I have a retail gift shop. I do specialize in teaching and enriching people's lives with essential oils, but I also have other gifts, crystals, baskets, jewelry.
For sure, yeah.
The doodads. And so that's right here in town. I am kind of mature for what I do, meaning in age. I'm not the typical youngin' doing this anymore.
I'm with you.
And but I found my place finally.
Right.
Every career I've ever had, I've wondered what am I going to do when I grow up, and this is it.
And doesn't it feel like coming home when you
Yes.
Found it? Like,
Yes.
Okay, this is it.
Yes, and you've been to my shop. It's
I
just
love
like,
your shop.
That's my place. And we'll
And you
talk
can
about
tell.
that.
You can tell when you walk
Thank
in. You treat it
Thank
that
you.
way, so it feels
Yeah.
that way.
Yeah. So why do I do what I do? Well, I was introduced to the oils in my yoga class, before the shutdown, when I was doing yoga every day. And a brand new teacher to me, and she started us off with balance, which is very grounding. Put it in our hand, we smelled it, and then put it, back of your neck, whatever, laid down, and she did a guided breathing meditation. My day was horrific that day. And my day just went,
You physically felt it change.
such
You
a
did.
release.
You did.
And the entire class, yoga is really, you're not really supposed to be thinking about anything.
Which
it's
is hard.
The breathing. Right. It's the goal.
It's
right?
it's nice to have goals.
It's the breathing and just going through your movement. It's not about what they're doing next to you. It's all that.
Right.
And I felt that. And I've been doing yoga for years. So that was like amazing to me. And really, at that point, I just wanted these oils to feel better like that, to make me feel better. And
so when you said balance, so it was an actual oil blend, or a blend called Balance that she actually put on everybody's hands or wrists or hands.
Yeah. So it was pretty amazing. And I have it here. So actually, we didn't start with an oil, and we usually do.
Yes.
So we did this last time, I know, because I do this for every class. So this is wild orange. I don't know anybody that doesn't like wild orange. I'm going to do another one because it won't hurt.
You guys can hear me rubbing my hands.
Yep.
Kathy's rubbing hers.
And then just cup your hands over your nose. So when I do classes, and if I know ahead of time for a Zoom class, I will send out samples so that we can all be doing, at least a couple of oils ahead of time. So orange is one of the ones I do. Wild orange, all citrus is very uplifting.
Absolutely.
Honestly, orange just makes me happy. So what it is it's actually the rind. It's not the juice.
Not the juice.
So when you're zesting an orange, this is what you smell right here. Yeah. And with these are all doTERRA oils. Wild orange is one of the ones that can be consumed as well. So I can use that in cooking.
You did mention that last time, and I don't want to get off track, but I remember being very impacted with that statement and thinking about the oils that I might have at home, that I have bought randomly wherever I was, and you can't. There's nothing that says this is like what's the word? Not
Supplemental
food.
fats,
Oh, yes, yeah.
And GRAS label, meaning generally regarded as safe to take internally. And I always think peppermint is like the best one I've ever seen to check.
Yeah.
Because honestly, I can go out in my yard, throw
And
a
get-
peppermint leaf in my mouth.
You should be
and
able
it's
to.
Fine, right. But I have a coworker, a cross-line coworker,
Yeah.
who's a nurse practitioner, and she was looking for a year for an ingestible peppermint because she knew that's what her daughter needed for her stomach. And it wasn't until she found doTERRA that she found one.
That's amazing.
So I think that's a huge red flag. What
It's
is
gotta
wrong
be.
with this peppermint that you can't consume it, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, even peppermint extract, which is probably totally chemicals, you can consume, right?
That we're putting our baking and Christmas cookies with and all this stuff. I know.
Oh, do peppermint instead. Oh
Right?
my gosh, yeah, it's so wonderful.
All right, so we pulled
Okay.
off track. So,
Yeah, I know, I'm
So
sorry.
that's okay. So doTERRA.
So anyway, I have a shop here. What do? I do a lot of things. I own the retail shop. I do classes pretty much around the country on Zoom as well as in person. And I'm also a real estate agent. I'm a property
Crazy.
property manager.
Yeah.
And I do that as well. So I got a full plate here, but I love it.
This is your
So,
passion, and the fact that
this
you want to
is-
teach it
Yeah.
says a lot too,
Yeah.
right? This is
Yeah.
you're so passionate about it. You want to share it with as many people as
Yeah,
possible.
we go down rabbit holes,
I know.
you know. These poor people that come and talk to me. But anyway.
You're like, did you want to talk about oils for an hour and a half, or did you just want to test one and go?
the safe people are with the crying babies, right?
So true.
So let me tell you a little bit about doTERRA.
Yes, yes.
Quality does matter. doTERRA came out 15 years ago during the recession. They
Yeah.
all previously, 7 owners, privately held, debt-free, were in the essential oil industry. And
All of them were?
All of them
Yeah,
were.
yeah.
And they wanted to have a pure essential oil, whereas 95% or
They're
more
not.
are not.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry to say. So that was doTERRA's first, this is our
This is it.
promise to everyone. So every oil batch is tested 54 times by doTERRA and 54 times by third-party
outside.
outside
Yeah, yeah.
labs. And I do have to say that a lot of hospitals, a lot of research facilities are doing research with doTERRA oils because they are so pure. So that's pretty cool. So they started that
That
way.
is a huge.
Yes. They've done it right from the very beginning. And
Probably because they wanted to say this is what I want to use,
right.
so we're doing it the
Right.
way I want it.
Right. The fact that they wanted something that had repeatable results. If you're looking
Yeah.
for a certain result with an oil, because there are uses for these, you want the same result every time, and
Right.
that's their goal.
I like
So
that.
That's pretty cool. So, and the 7 individuals that own it are just the salt of the earth. They took away the middleman, who was oftentimes the culprit,
Absolutely.
with adding synthetics, lesser oils.
They lose control over the
Right.
purity. Yeah.
And then what happens is the companies that buy that then are not doing the testing. So they just said, we're just getting rid of that middleman. And they have
Smart.
what's called co-impact sourcing, where the farmers, and most of our products come from impoverished countries, that type of thing,
yeah.
where the products grow the best.
Isn't that funny?
So the farmers are directly employed by doTERRA. doTERRA, we also have this thing called Healing Hands Foundation, $1, well, more than $1 now, but it used to be $1 of every order that I placed would go to the foundation, and that was to help these communities with waterways. We've
That's
helped
amazing.
build hospitals, schools, whatever. So they're giving back to these communities. So
And how
it's pretty
impactful
cool.
to
Yeah,
have the
yeah.
people be,
Yeah.
who are part of your company to be that involved. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
So it's pretty awesome. Okay, so that's why the quality matters. And you should be
does.
concerned. I am suspect of anything with a fragrance now, ironically, because so many fragrances are just fragrances, and
Chemicals.
they are killing us. I call them hormonal endocrine disruptors. So our age group right here,
Yeah.
thyroid issues, and I always think when we were kids, where did we spray the cologne?
As close to, I still do.
Yeah.
I still do. Right on my neck. Stop. Where do you
Okay.
Where do you do? Wrist?
Well, don't use cologne.
Oh,
Like I said,
Look at me trying to-
be suspect of everything with a fragrance, because there's not enough lavender planted on this earth that will suffice all the products that say that it has
Really?
lavender in it. Yeah. So, Yeah, that's what I teach about, reducing our toxic load
Absolutely.
every day. So anyway,
Okay, no, that's
we
good.
could
This
get
is
going
good.
on that. So let's get to summer dilemmas, okay?
I am in, and I am specifically going to have this episode and then something about the summer solstice. So
Nice.
whatever you have, I'm tying right into the next
Okay,
one.
perfect.
So you're guiding me forward.
Okay, so let's talk about the purely physical side of summer dilemmas
Yes.
right now for really quick. And I think the top three would be heat, bugs, and sun.
I'm with you, 100%.
And we can take care of that, all three. So
Really?
What I have in my hand here is a little 2-ounce spray bottle. It has water in it and maybe 10 drops of peppermint. And I just sprayed it on the back of my neck. And I think it needs a little more peppermint. But I keep this in my shop because we get 100+ days and
We
people
do.
come in just profusely damp.
Oh,
And I spray the back of their neck. And that's very cooling. When
And there's
I-
nothing but peppermint and water?
Right.
Okay.
And when I don't feel the cooling anymore, I know it's time to put a few more drops of peppermint in.
Right.
And I shake it before because water and oil don't mix.
Absolutely, yeah.
And during that time of my life where I was changing,
Hot all the time?
yes, that was a wonderful thing. It was in my bathroom. I would sit on my tub,
Yes, yeah, oh yes.
and spray down.
Yeah.
So that was pretty wonderful. So this is a really good way. All the mints are very cooling. I brought some.
So what is that doing though? If I mean, I know the act certainly of, because that's not even cold water. Is it just your mind saying, okay, I smell it so I feel cooler, or what?
No, it has a cooling capability to it.
We'll just
Do you
delete.
like spearmint?
I love spearmint.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So that one was called Super Mint, and that's a blend of, I think, 5 different mints. It's pretty amazing.
So that is literally just like a little itty bitty beadlet of spearmint.
Yeah, it's like the size of a beady.
Yeah.
Anyways, and so you just
Oh,
pop
that's
it,
powerful.
and it could help with digestion.
Hell
It could
yeah.
help your breath. It
Absolutely, I
certainly
feel it on
is
my
a
breath.
great midday pick me up. Driving late at night, I like these little guys. It comes spearmint. There's also a peppermint, and then other ones. There's
Yeah.
a one for immune support.
The whole in the little beadlet
Yeah,
forms.
yeah.
I'm gonna take another one.
Okay. How wonderful is that?
It's exactly. It almost feels like it's opening up my
It is.
my nasal
It
passages.
is,
Yeah.
yeah. I've noticed there's a gum that goes
breathing.
with this. It's called Metapower, and it has peppermint in it. And I noticed after chewing it for a while that when I breathe up through my nostrils, it's clearer.
Same. I
Yeah,
instantly feel
yeah,
that.
yeah.
So if somebody has allergies, is this helpful?
For seasonal distress, yes.
Seasonal distress, yes.
That could be helpful, yes.
I mean, it just feels like that. Like
Yeah,
I've got,
yeah. Seasonal distress.
okay, yeah, seasonal, yeah.
You know, when pets are around, we all have that.
Yeah.
So, but there's actually something that's for that.
mean,
for seasonal
there is?
distress,
Yeah.
and it's lemon, lavender, and peppermint.
Ooh.
And you can do one each and sniff it, one each in your hand and sniff it, or do it in the diffuser, or even all of those are consumable. So those 2 months of the year when I'm having a lot of problems, you know, the pollen and everything, I'll do 2 drops each in a little shot glass of water, and I take it internally. So that's pretty awesome.
So you don't even pop them; you just drink it down.
Right, I do that with the oil.
Ah.
Yeah,
the
2
oil.
drops
Yeah,
of
yeah,
oil.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so back to this.
Oh yeah, so summer heat. So sorry, we got off track. That's okay. We can go off track as much as we want. We've got the heat, we've got bugs, and we've got the sun.
Okay, so bugs. There's actually a wonderful spray called TerraShield, and I didn't bring it. It has a bunch of bug stuff in it. Eucalyptus, citronella. I did write it down. Lemongrass, thyme, cedarwood, geranium, peppermint, citronella. It's called TerraShield. It's toxin free. It comes as the oil, a 15 milliliter, or as a 10 milliliter spray bottle. And so it would be.
And those are all
great-
things that most bugs do not like.
Citronella is really good for.
I've heard that for candles, right?
Yeah,
For mosquitoes.
Yeah. It's one of the best. But if you were taking a hike
Yes.
in tall grasses, you could spray the bottoms of your pants, type of thing.
Is
So-
that something, and you might not know, but is that something that you could spray on like your dog before it goes outside and walks through the weeds that
So
would kind of protect them?
they changed it this last year. It's now classified as a bug repellent, which is huge.
That's a biggie, yeah.
So I'm positive that you can. I would just dilute it more and keep it to the extremities. We actually
Yeah, just
when
like
you-
with their paws or something,
Yeah,
or like what they're
yeah.
going to walk through. Yeah.
When you're one of my customers, we actually have this 8-week long class just for our customers.
Absolutely.
And
So you know.
Pets and Essential Oils is taught by a certified pet aromatherapist, and you will learn so much on how to use these oils safely and effectively on your pets. And we do this on Zoom, so you know
You don't have to physically be
Right.
insolving. Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So that's probably the best thing that happened from the shutdown is now
There's a
we're-
lot of
now
positive
we're
things.
global,
I know. Right.
right? And
Anybody can be a part of this. Yeah.
I still don't like doing Zoom, but you know,
Is what it is.
we are.
Here we are.
I mean, who likes standing up in front of people
I know.
anyway?
Either
But
way, Zoom or no Zoom, it
certainly
feels a little
not
bit
me.
better.
Yeah. Okay, and then
Okay, so the bugs, that's a pretty big one. So there
That's a
actually
big one.
is a spray
yes, but we also have citronella. We have all those oils on
independently.
themselves.
Yeah, individually.
Lemon, eucalyptus is really good, and it's not what it sounds like. People go, "Oh, let me smell that." Oh,
Uh-oh, that's not it. That's not
but
it.
it's got its uses.
Okay.
So anyway, so let's move on. doTERRA came out with a sunscreen line last year. It's mineral based. It comes in a stick, a lotion spray, and then there's an after spray as well that a lot of people are actually using year round because it feels good on your body. And so all of those products are oxybenzone, paraben, and phthalate free, as well as vegan friendly, reef safe, and cruelty free. So
Love it.
that's pretty awesome.
That is.
Yeah. So those are the three physical ailments I think of summer.
With
right?
summer.
Yeah.
Heat for sure. I mean, I try to do my best to stay out of the sun. By doing that, there aren't a ton of bugs I'm around. The heat is debilitating for me. I'm a good like 65-ish degree weather girl, maybe low 70s, and
Yeah.
as soon as it gets anything higher, I shut down.
Okay. Well,
Yep, there too.
Now you know.
Now I
the
know.
Spray bottle.
There's
And I'd
a-
make it a little more potent than what we did.
For
But
sure.
Anyway. Okay, so let's talk about stress in the workplace. I mean, that's kind of
Yes.
year round anyway.
For sure.
I can imagine parents would be even more stressed during the summer. I can always remember that dilemma. I couldn't wait till my kids got out of school. And then by the end of summer, I was like, oh my gosh, when are we going back to school?
I've got to go to work. Like I have to. There's some stuff I have to do.
So let's talk about some coping mechanisms for the workplace. So quite a very
Okay,
high,
we've got balance.
very high
Ooh.
in wood oils, frankincense, hoe wood, black spruce, all very kind of meditative, calming, grounding. If you think of trees,
I definitely get like a
rooted,
foresty.
grounded. Yeah, I really like balance with wild orange, and that's what we've got going in the diffuser right here. So it just lightens it a little bit. That's kind
Gives
of
a little
my,
pep in a step.
Yeah, that's kind of my
So that's-
nighttime diffuser.
That's what's in our hand too, because we started with the orange,
Yep,
with
yep,
the and then the
yep,
balance.
yep.
So if we did that for stress, specifically, in the office, what are we looking just to have a scent that reminds us, or just kind of just take a second when
Just
you're doing
take
it?
a second and think about it. You know, everybody responds differently to oils. So just because you and I like that doesn't
Right.
mean Sally Sue's going to like it, right?
Absolutely.
So, but this is one of my most popular oils, and I know a lot of my gals wear necklace vials.
Yes.
And balances in it, so that when they need a moment, they can open up their vial, take a sniff.
I love that.
Yeah, so that's a pretty good use of that. But let's keep moving.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry. Okay. So what else for stress?
Again, any of the woods. So copaiba is a pretty. I don't know that you're going to say, "Oh, that smells so good." Some people do like it.
I like it. What does that smell like though? It smells like something with cooking.
Oh, well, it's a resin from a tree.
Well, that's probably not. I'm off.
And I didn't bring frankincense today.
It's reminding me of vanilla, like the cooking vanilla. I don't know why.
It does kind of have that. This is what I say in my Zoom class. It's immune supporting. It can help with occasional aches and pains. That would be good for that.
And how do you pronounce it again?
Copaiba, or
Copaiba.
if this is from Brazil, and if you were Brazilian, it would be copaiba. It comes from a tree. Probably thousands of years they've been using this as a natural remedy. So the wonderful thing about this is it does so much for your body systems in supporting them, but it also can help with feelings of anxiousness. It can help with occasional aches and pains. That type of thing.
Love.
Immune support. It's a really important one. Let's just put it that way.
So again, for office stress though, how would
Okay, so
somebody handle this?
Before I came here,
Yeah.
I did 2 drops under my tongue.
You did.
Yeah, so it's a
Because
pretty
again, you
amazing
can
one.
you can digest all of these.
No,
Not all.
only if they have the
What?
label that says you can. So you see the box and it says supplemental facts. Under the box, you've got glasses on. It says for internal use with dosage. Only if it says that. So like this one, Balance, you see no box. It just says ingredients.
Yeah.
And then here,
Yeah.
for aromatic or topical use. So it has to say it.
Okay.
But
For internal use. Oh, I got you.
right.
Yeah.
And thankfully, they've got this big box.
That's right.
If they change
Very
that,
clear
yeah,
what we could do. Okay.
I'm done in.
So this one is something you could put directly under your tongue then.
Yes, which is why I did.
This way.
So, yeah.
I love that one.
Yeah, that's a pretty amazing one. And there's so many uses for it. I mean, so all the woods, cedar wood. I love Serenity. This is a nice blend of lavender, vetiver, which is a root, cedar wood.
That's very different.
Yeah, it's the majority of it is lavender. You definitely get that.
Definitely get that.
But it's got a whole bunch of other stuff.
There's a little hit of something, right? Yeah.
Vanilla's in that. So it's a pretty powerful one too. And that can help a lot of people with relaxation. So you've got the woods, which are grounding, the florals, which are calming, you know. So that might be a good nighttime in the diffuser. It might be great for someone who's having high stress here during the day. You know, again, everybody should have their own diffuser, and
They'll find their at their desk or yeah. So this one is something that would be for the air, not to digest.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're getting it.
There we go. See?
Yeah, quick study.
This one is.
Black spruce. Did I bring that? This is.
I have to say, I'm definitely naturally drawn to the woodsy stuff.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And that has a lot of emotional benefits as well. It's in
Black
my book.
spruce.
Keep in mind grounding. This one can also help with occasional aches and pains type of thing. So keep that in mind for a lot of these. They have so many different uses. I love this fact. 1 drop of essential oil is the equivalent of 10 million trillion molecules.
10
That's how
million trillion molecules?
are in 1 drop. So does that tell you how diverse each one can be in its effectiveness or uses?
my goodness.
So that's intense.
That is.
Okay, so
Any other good ones for stress? For office stress? I mean, stress anywhere, but office stress.
well, I love adaptive. And
I love the roller balls.
yeah, and that also comes
Ooh,
as a
what's in that one?
Maybe fractionated coconut oil.
Yep.
Okay.
That's it.
All right, yeah,
Fractionated
I've got it
coconut.
right
Okay. Citrus, wild orange.
Wild orange, lavender, copaiba, spearmint, magnolia, rosemary, neroli, and sweet gum. So this oil, it comes as a roller bottle. It comes as a 15 milliliter oil bottle, so you could drop that in the diffuser, you know, easy
Yeah.
peasy. But this came out ironically before the pandemic for everything chaotic. So
Well,
there's a lot of
timing
kids
for that one, right?
in this town that will forever associate the lockdown with this scent.
Because moms were. I do get the gum in it too, though.
Yeah.
What was it? Was
Oh,
it?
sweet gum.
Sweet
I
gum,
don't
yeah.
know what that smells like.
Or maybe I was just thinking like a gum
Yeah,
thing.
yeah. You know, like I said, woods are grounding, florals are calming, mints are invigorating.
Citrus, invigorating,
Right. So
or interject.
right.
Same thing.
So all of those, there's a wheel of emotions with what all those things do. Herbs, citrus.
Yes.
You know.
Yes.
There's a representative of every one of those in that, and it happens to smell pretty good. So that's kind of a fun one.
All encompassing.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm going to go into something else that
Yeah.
We're going to dive off a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So adaptive and serenity, neither of those are consumable in the oil bottles like this. But there is a consumable supplement. So it's called that, but it's not the same because you can't take these internally, but you can take these
They don't translate to
soft
it.
gels or
Okay.
capsules. Okay. And the Serenity, the use for that is for helping someone with sleep. But on the flip side, if someone is needing additional emotional support during the day, one of those in the morning or
Would
two
be
of
okay.
those would be appropriate, or, you know, try it, right? And then the adaptive comes in a capsule. And in the beginning, you know my husband.
Yes. Yeah.
When it came out, this had his name written all over it, right?
Honey, come over here, please.
And, you know, I'm kind of
Yeah.
chillax. Well, I looked that way anyway. I didn't take it. It wasn't until the lockdown the chamber came to me here and said, will you do a class on Zoom like in 3 days? And that was my year. My word was yes. What an idiot.
This is it.
So I was like, yes, never done a Zoom class in my life. The camera on my main computer didn't work.
Of
so I
course.
had 2 computers going, but my presentation was on the one that didn't work.
So you had to keep looking over.
Oh my gosh. It was. So at 9, I realized that morning I'm not going to yoga because I'm too freaked out. So I took an adaptive. The class was like at 11 or something.
Yeah.
And the guy facilitating it is trying to help me. And meanwhile, people are coming on. And it was pretty hysterical. We did get it going.
There's always the first run.
Right, right. And my business partner was on. And afterwards, she called me and she goes, oh my gosh, you were so calm. She goes, I would have been freaking out. I was like, well, you know.
Guess
took
what
an
I took?
adaptive today. So anyway, it just kind of helps take the edge off of what's going on. And I don't know
Absolutely.
what the compliant things are to say about this one. But
Yeah, you can say personally that it just kind of helped
Yeah.
neutralize everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now I take them every day.
No, that was it.
And so does my husband. And when we go places with our kids, one of my kids, we were going to a wedding,
Yeah.
and one of my kids called as we're driving to the wedding and said, did Dad take his adaptive? And I asked him, and he said, no. And I said, but I did. So I can deal with everybody. So anyway.
I love it. The kids are pre-planning.
Yeah, I know. Well, they need to take
They
it,
know.
too. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Okay, so let's keep going.
Okay. So the adaptive's a good one.
Adaptive is a good one.
Yep.
So there's a lot of oils that we can try and look at
Mm-hmm.
for diffusing or,
It's probably hard to pick like a top 3 for stress, but if you had to, what would they be?
for feelings of stress,
Mm-hmm.
anxiety, that would be probably copaiba, adaptive, and balance.
balance.
Those are my 3 favorites.
Yeah. So for everyone listening, I know it's hard to kind of take notes as things are going on, but I'll link everything in the show notes, so you guys can go right to it if you're like, what was that thing for stress? We'll put a nice link in there so they can just go right to it.
Okay. And
Yeah.
you can do a link to a cart. Yeah.
That's exactly
So-
it. Okay.
There's so much I can talk about with the oils. There's an emotional kit, and I
Oh.
brought some of them. So they come as roller bottles or 5 milliliters. So there's, is that passion? Okay.
I don't know why I went for that. I just,
Yeah.
I just remember that, yeah.
So passion is one,
Mm-hmm.
motivate is another, forgive, console,
Oh.
cheer, and peace. So motivate's got a little bit of that peppermint,
Motivate,
right?
yeah. I love that one.
Yeah. So
So
peace-
this is the emotional package or no?
Yes.
This is.
Mhm. So you can buy them individually or you can get them as a set. And again, they come roller bottles as a set or these bottles themselves. And the 5 milliliters are nice because you can put those in the diffuser.
Love that.
Yeah.
The forgive is nice.
Yeah, very green.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I would say herbs,
Very.
maybe some trees.
Mm-hmm.
I'd have to look it up to see what's in it. That's why I love the book.
doTERRA definitely has a recommendation and some stuff prepackaged as, hey, this is, if you're looking for more of the emotional support,
Right.
these are the ones that,
Right. And when you buy a package, it's a little less.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
yeah.
But it's nice. I mean, especially if you're starting off on stuff, it's really hard to know.
Right.
It's nice to get the guidance of,
Right.
and then once you find your blend, you're going to be like, this is it.
Right. Well, and they have other packages
Ooh.
too, like the top 10, which would be like replacing what's going on in your medicine cabinet, maybe in a more natural way. So there's digestive support, respiratory support, immune support, frankincense, which can be very wonderful in and of itself, lemon, lavender, peppermint. So
So this might be a silly question, but I know you can use these in diffusers. Can you use them in humidifiers?
I would probably say your basic humidifier, no, but doTERRA does sell a humidifier diffuser.
Mm-hmm.
It just holds a lot more water and puts out a lot more mist.
Yeah.
I have it going in my shop all the time. I have a fern above it that you'll go, okay, that thing is some
She's got to be a
serious-
happy
yeah,
little girl,
yeah.
huh?
And honestly, during our rainstorms this last winter, a couple days, there was no one in town. I
Yeah.
was just doing book work in my shop.
Yeah.
The door's closed, and I look up, and there's like this cloud bank
Mist
in
your
the
store.
room. I was like, oh my gosh, I should probably turn that off. That was pretty funny.
That is awesome.
Yeah. So, that's a great way if you want to add some more moisture.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so this grouping of emotions is really nice.
Yeah, it's pretty fun to have.
And it seems like we could definitely tie that with the moon too, maybe, right? Because the moon
Oh, yeah.
is so emotionally based. if you're a moon sign or Cancer or anything like that, that would probably be a great packet for
Yeah.
the emotional groups.
And I'm sure I just don't know about that stuff.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I need to be around you more.
Follow me for moon.
Okay, so
See, I love that you have coping mechanism for the workplace with oil options, power of mindfulness. Do you have that group? Creating a sacred space, moment to care for self, like rituals.
Okay, so
those sound like, let's hit those.
right.
Yeah.
Okay, so some of the things I'm trying to incorporate the past couple years was power of mindfulness. So I try and wake up and do, and actually I'm finding that it's my bathroom now.
This is
You
it.
know,
That's your
the
space.
shower.
That's a big part, though,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. And I just do all my best, like
Yes.
cogitating there of
Yeah.
everything I need to either get rid of or whatever. So
And that's nice because water washes stuff away. So that's a big
right.
physical
Yeah.
representation, too.
Yeah. So that's, I recommend that for everybody. Mindful practices of meditation, deep breathing, yoga, exercise, all those kind of things can help you tune out the distractions. So some of the oils for that might be breathe. Did I bring them? I did. So smell that. This is our respiratory blend. And so it has peppermint in it, ravansara, cardamom,
Love.
eucalyptus.
Love that one.
So that's a fun one. And this is for diffusing or aromatic only. So that might help you clear the air. All of these have an emotional component to it as well. This one would be kind of feelings of confinement. If you think of, or constriction, if you think of when your respiratory system, you're having a hard time.
It's like pressure holding you down.
Yes. So, when we were doing the masks, I would suggest to people putting a little drop at the bottom of their chin just for those feelings of confinement.
Absolutely.
So that was a real good thing for that. So that might be it. It might be frankincense, which can really
I
help
like frankincense.
deepen your
Yeah.
everything. The woods, again, really great.
What about, so I'm going to be working on in my next podcast is about, or the one actually right before you is about creating a servitor, which I know nothing about, but I'm trying to get some help with. We've had some really weird energy with not specific clients, but somebody who is bringing something in for a client, and the staff and I are feeling uneasy about it. So we are looking for something that would be a little bit more protective for us. Is there like a smell or a scent or an oil that is more like a protection smell?
Okay, so I brought this book to show
Yeah.
you, and we would have to kind of go through it.
Sure.
Just offhand, On Guard's called the Protective Blend. It's more like immune support, but it's called that for a reason.
For a
as
reason, to
well.
protect
Yeah,
you.
Yeah, so that
I'll
might
smell
be.
that one.
But there's an emotions book that's pretty awesome. So,
Ooh, cinnamon.
like here, if I'm just looking through it, vetiver, and there's a whole big thing about it, and
Yes.
it's called Centering and Descent. Siberian Fir, Aging and Perspective. Sandalwood, Sacred Devotion. So,
Yes.
rosemary, knowledge, and transition. So
Rosemary for sure, yeah.
uh,
Look, so we can look, so yeah.
So some of the ones, tea tree is really good for, I know, boundaries type of thing. So
That's what
might
we're
be,
needing, yeah.
And maybe lighten it up with a little citrus
Right.
because it has that
Boundaries
kinda
with some oomph.
medicinal smell to it
right.
to me.
The On Guard is amazing. I love the
Yeah,
cinnamon in
yeah.
it. Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty amazing. So we could dive deeper in that's for sure. Creating a sacred space, again, I realized this morning my sacred space is my bathroom. So, and I think that is for most women who have kids and a husband.
That's your
You can lock that door, right?
and go in, and that's your self-care.
Yeah.
That's your everything. But
Yeah.
sacred space is definitely harder at the office because everything's communal.
Right.
Unless you literally do have your own office, like a door you can shut, whether you shut it or not, but it's not always easily defined unless you
Right.
have a real
Right.
clear desk space of this is your space.
Right, true. The things I use are, let's see what's in here. Selenite.
That's a biggie.
We're kind of going off topic here,
Love
but
that. That's
and then
gorgeous.
these are just the ones I picked up before I walked out the door. So, honey, calcite, I always say lavender,
Yeah.
amethyst, and then a quartz crystal. So,
Those are good.
we
for
do what
protection.
we have
I know,
to
you
do.
get- you do, yeah.
Plant on your desk.
Yep.
Could help. So
That's good.
Yeah, if you don't have your own office, that could be a little trickier, but I think you could make it work. Just get creative.
You can.
Yeah.
You can always create your sacred space somehow,
Yeah.
and it doesn't need to be physical. It can be
Right.
You can
Right.
take that meditation. Okay.
Right. Self-care, self-ritual, bath, spa moment, journaling. Again,
Again,
shower for me.
for busy people, though, sometimes it's hard to slow
Yeah.
down. Like you're constantly in that go, go, go mentality. And
Yeah.
to stop and give yourself that attention is hard sometimes.
Yeah. In the morning, I've been doing this little ritual of, well, the next one is gratitude, but
Yeah.
of gratitude, and I didn't bring it, dang it. I've been doing bergamot on a little cotton pad
Oh,
and just smelling it. Okay, let's look at
we're going to make it good.
Well, I say that.
I love
and
that you
it's
brought
like
crystals.
some weird thing.
I love.
Yeah. I don't know that you need to read it all, but, you get the gist.
Okay. Bergamot relieves feelings of despair, self-judgment, and low self-esteem. It supports individuals in need of self-acceptance and self-love. Bergamot invites individuals to see life with more optimism. I like that.
Yeah.
It has a cleansing effect on stagnant feelings and limiting belief systems. Because of core beliefs of being bad, unlovable, and not good enough, they seek to hide behind a facade of cheerfulness. They may fear revealing their true thoughts and feelings. Bergamot's powerful cleansing properties generate movement in the energy system, which in turn brings hope. It is a wonderful oil for those who feel down and hopeless. It awakens the soul to hope and offers courage to share the inner self. Reigniting optimism and confidence in the self, it imparts true self-acceptance. Bergamot teaches individuals to let go of self-judgment by learning to love themselves unconditionally. I like that.
Yeah, it's a good one.
That
It's
is.
it's pretty powerful. I've never even read that. So I just know it makes me feel good. Sometimes if I wake up in the middle of the night and I just can't go back to sleep because that hamster wheel just keeps going,
You know it.
I'll do that cotton pad again with some bergamot, and I'll just lay it next to on my mattress right
Yes.
next to me and smell that in, and I find it just, again, calming, So
So do you think part of it too is training your body? Like if you do,
to respond,
right?
yeah, properly.
This is it. So if you do the lavender spray on your pillow before you go to bed every night, that is such a trigger, just that, okay, we're about to shut things down. And if it just creates a good habit.
But it also, I feel like it really does.
For sure.
Yeah. Because, just if you were to put like lavender on your feet every night,
Yeah.
and then there's that, it's just a different thing.
And it also goes to self-care
Right.
at night. You can
Right.
do a little bit.
Right. So, okay. Well, that's kind of what I have here.
Amazing. Okay, so that is a lot of information.
It's a lot of information.
Of course, I'll put links in and we can work on what links will tie into the notes, that we went over. But really everything, if somebody really wants one thing you said, it's all, or can be individually purchased, right?
Correct.
From your website. And then,
Honestly, the website's a little confusing.
Yeah.
doTERRA's just changed everything up.
of course
and,
it did.
In the last 2 months, it used to be where if you bought a collection, you got a free account, or if you want onesie twosie things, it would be like a fee for it.
Sure.
And now, if you get an account from me, it's totally free. So there's no reason to not buy
do it.
things at a discount, and
Yeah.
you'd be getting my same price. So I haven't really changed up my website to reflect that. The
Okay.
easiest thing to do is, if you look at doTERRA, what you want,
Yep.
text me or call me, and
Yeah.
I'll just send you a card.
There you go.
And then you have the support of my group, you have the education.
They can call
There's-
back and say, hey,
Right.
what do I do with this? Or what? Yeah, I love
Right,
that.
right.
Support's a big part. This is a lot of information. And
Right.
unless it's your element or your world, it's a
Right.
lot to digest.
Yeah, and even those people that come into me and they have a list,
Even then.
and they just happen to find me, they're still like, oh, wow.
It's a lot.
There's so much to learn.
There is.
And there's kits. I love the kits. There's
I do
nothing
too.
to discount those at all. And you get it for a better price. And there is one on aromatherapy, and that's this one. And that has this diffuser, which is really pretty. It's a glass diffuser. It has a lot of the things we've been talking about. And this would be really good for someone who needs the uplift in moods. So this is called the Aroma Essentials Kits, and it has the cheer in it, which did we?
Yep.
Oh, that was in the little guide.
Oh, yeah. No, yeah, you're right. You're right.
The wild orange, On Guard for the immune support, citrus bloom, which is right here. A wonderful blend of citrus, Serenity, which we talked about, very calming. Northern Exposure, I mean, Escape. I always think of that program.
I know.
That's right. That's in it. I like that one with actually the wild orange together. The Breathe for respiratory.
I really like the Breathe.
Peppermint, balance, and adaptive. So you can see that that's a really good emotionally balancing. All of them smell good, but they're getting you because they all have uses.
And what an amazing gift to have, like at your desk. Something that you can just go right here. The diffuser's on.
Yeah,
it's all,
and honestly, even if you couldn't diffuse at your desk, you could open it, take a sniff.
Absolutely. Or rollerball it. So don't mean to go circle back to the perfume, but if you're looking to walk away from perfume and all the chemicals, and you find something in here that you really like, can you just rollerball it or just dab it on and that is your perfume for the
whenever
day?
we use them topically, we always dilute because you've noticed they're pretty potent.
For sure.
So we always dilute it with a carrier oil. That way, when you open the bottle, what you're smelling is the oil going from liquid to gas. In other words, evaporating very quickly.
Sure.
So when you put it on just by itself, half of it's going to evaporate away. But by binding it with an oil and oils mix.
Sure.
It'll stay there longer, and if you're doing it for a therapeutic use, it'll stay there longer, it'll bind, and you'll have a better end result.
Yeah.
So
I do think that's probably something I need to look into pretty quickly, because I still...
Well, and you have pets too. So that's the big thing. We have to be thinking about our little people, meaning kids, or our pets, because they're close to the ground where we're using these chemicals on our floors and all that kind of stuff. So and also keep in mind, I know so many people love bleach, but bleach is heavier than air, so it gravitates to the ground where those little ones are.
Yeah.
So,
and it's too much to process.
My cleaning supplies are based on this.
Sure.
They have already made stuff, but I have DIY. It's lemon, oregano, tea tree, and On Guard in a spray bottle, 10 drops each. My spray bottle is an old Perrier.
Huh, that's awesome. Is it really?
Yeah.
Awesome.
I use it on the floors, the toilets, everything. So, and I know my dog can lick his paws and be, okay.
It's not going to upset him. Or walk in it. It's not going to burn his paws.
Right. And the Pine Sol or whatever.
Yeah. And bleach.
Yeah. We just got to start thinking of these things.
Well, this has been amazing. I love that you brought crystals in.
Yeah.
Okay, so the kits, we definitely can do links for that. But I'll go over with, again, and just review, and so we make sure we have notes and links for everybody so they don't have to remember what that one good thing was for stress or one good,
Well, I would also suggest just calling me.
And just call. Okay. I'll put all your numbers in.
Yeah. So that would be awesome. Yeah.
Wonderful.
And I'm more than happy to do Zoom classes for people. If you have a group of friends, that's what I do.
That would be amazing. Yeah.
And again, if I have enough notice and for confirmed people, I will send out 3 samples so we can be like us here.
Actually, instead of them being like, gosh, I wonder what they're smelling.
So that's kind of fun. It's a little more interactive, and it's nice. Everybody's in their own environment, and everybody, and it's a lot of fun.
I love it.
Yeah,
I love All right, so maybe I can think about that for something in the future. If I've got podcast listeners who would want to do like a Zoom meeting or Zoom class with you, I can put something out and see if we can organize something. Now, is that different from hosting a party?
Pretty much the same.
It would be the same, but it would be for no matter where they live, no matter where they are.
Right.
Okay, let's talk about that. That would be fun to do and host with the community.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Awesome. Yeah.
Well, Cathi, thank you so much. This is so educational and definitely not my expertise level of anything. So it's nice to have somebody come in who knows what they're talking about, and that you have such amazing quality products. doTERRA definitely seems to be the line to stay with. I love it.
Thank you so much, Charlene. I so appreciate being here with you, and you're just a joy to be around anyway. So.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Cathi. All right, guys, I did write a poem for today, so I'm going to go grab those notes, and I will be right back. Okay, I am back, and oh my goodness, that was so much fun. I have to say, I do feel like I'm getting a little spoiled with the amazing guests I have been able to collaborate with. Annika with the Crow and Raven series, my son talking about witchy moms, Yaxel and his experience and expertise on servitors, And of course, Cathi and her amazing essential oil guidance. I'm feeling really, really lucky right now. All right, so I do have my poem about essential oils. Here we go. Drip, drop, I add the oils in. The scented mist now fills the air so my morning can begin. Dab here and a dab there, I gently pat it on. The scented oil now soothes my skin like the morning mist of dawn. Spray here and a spritz there to guard me from the bugs that like to hide and bite me like little wilderness thugs. Splash, splash, I add it in to my afternoon cup of water to help me beat the summer heat that continues to get hotter. Drip, drop, my essential oils are in. The scented mist now fills the air and my peaceful time begins. The final spray to say goodnight is misted on my pillow, and all the drips and all the drops I'll see again tomorrow. Well, that is all I have for you this week. I am taking Cathi's lead with essential oils and walking right into next week's podcast, which is all about the summer solstice and Litha. Till then, have a great week and weekend, and I'll talk with you next week. Thank you for joining me today at Witchy Work Wishes, a place to find your weekly inspiration for bringing your personal witchcraft practice into your business, work, and office. For more information and additional content, please visit me online at witchyworkwishes.com. If you want to send me a personal note, please email me at info@witchyworkwishes.com. And of course, you can follow me on Instagram and Facebook. Just search for Witchy Work Wishes.